Welcome to Dave Drives for the Day. So what's on my mind? What can I help you with? We want your business to succeed. But there's something that most business owners do not do after they start their business. Do you know what that is? That is, they don't let go. They don't let go. They try and do everything themselves. And if you try and do everything yourself, when you get busy, you let everything fall to the wayside. But worse than that, you're so busy, you're running yourself ragged, and you're not making money. You're really not going to make money. You're not going to grow that business. So the first thing and the hardest thing to do is replace yourself. You must always work on replacing yourself. Let me give you an example. Now, I also have had much trouble letting go. In the beginning, I ran a much larger business because I bought a business. There was already a lot of people handling their specific jobs. And so I did delegate everything from the office. But then when the economy crashed, I found myself having to do a lot of stuff myself because I ended up with a much smaller business. And the only way to take care of things was, roll up the sleeves and get the hands dirty and go to work. Then let's fast forward, a good 10 years, right? From the recession, the Great Recession, which might not be so great compared to the next one. Sorry, that's a whole nother video. So we have this big plan to go on a vacation. We can finally go on the trip of a lifetime. It's to Europe. I've never been to Europe, but we are going to be gone for 3 weeks. And I'm stressed out before this trip because I handle so many things in the business. I just had not delegated enough. So I started making a list, and I started having meetings with my office manager and my foreman and my salesman. And I start outlining, these are the things you're going to encounter, this is how you take care of it. And what I was unknowingly doing is I was creating automation. I was creating a system for the business. Now, in a wonderful way, it was amazing because all of my jobs were booked actually through the time I was going to be gone and then into the future beyond that. Now, did I have calls while I was gone? Very few, because I handled a lot of that in advance. But I had a couple of, customers that I've taken care of for years that called me, and they were frustrated with simple, issues. And I solved them over the phone. But my wife and daughter said that it was unusual, the lower amount of phone calls I was on while I was on this trip. And I was like, really? They were like, yeah, you're usually on the phone all day when we're on a trip. Right? Because you got to pay for the trip, so you got to work. So when I came back, something interesting happened. I actually started profiting more, and all of my customers were called, and the automation kept going in advance. Now I have to, I have to correct things that are heading in the wrong direction. I have to oversee, no, don't do it that way, do it this way. This is what the customer expects. This is the way this job should be done. Sure, there's people now that you've delegated that need to learn the right way to do it based on all of your years of experience. Not to say, though, that you have to let people build their own experience, too. You have to let them refine things because everybody's different. So maybe my way wasn't the best way. So I do sit back and observe. But truthfully, you must let go. the sooner that you start delegating and it's painful and it's scary and people make mistakes, but that's no reason to give up on the idea. You have to replace yourself. Look at it like this. It's like, how long will it take for me to completely automate this business and still be successful and, make that customer have a wonderful experience? And you can oversee it, but you've got to start letting go. You've got to start delegating. You've got to find a way to replace yourself so that you can work on the business and not be in the business. Like another home service expert says, are you an employee or do you own the business? If you're working on everything within the business, then you're an employee. And you don't want to be an employee. You can't get anywhere doing that. In order to scale your business, you need to add people, you need to train people. And if there are mistakes, accept the responsibility that it's your mistake. And you say, well, how can it be my mistake? I hired this guy to do a job and he didn't do it right. Because they don't have what you have. You trained them. You created the way of them doing things and you oversee it. So if they make a mistake based on something they didn't know, it's not their mistake. It's your mistake. Accept it. And I will admit to you, when I was gone, and even when I came back, I was more nervous for my newer salesman, because he couldn't walk up to a house like me and say this, and this has to be done. That takes years of experience. But he's doing pretty good, and he's making good sales. It's absolutely wonderful. So that's my input for the day. I hope you appreciated it, and I hope you benefit from it. So this is Dave Drives. We'll see you next time.